And once again, we want to welcome you to Going Public. I'm Martin Falls, joined by the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove. Parish president, good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Martin.
Well, when you come in, you have booklets because there's a lot of projects going on.
Yeah, Martin, we try to, and I want to thank you and your station because it's so important we try to get the information to the people. And I try to do it on new projects through some signs, but I don't have signs up for everything, so thank you for letting the public know.
And I was looking at the budget. Let's start with the budget and let you go through that because I'm sure a lot of people don't realize the budgets that go into the parish.
Well, the budget for 2023 adopted budget was $247 million. That's $250 million now. Our capital outlay is $106 million. It's how important getting money out of Baton Rouge is. And, we want to thank our delegation. Our bond rating has remained double A minus and A, which is as good as it's ever been, if not better. Now, the general fund balance in 2022 was $17.1 million. When I took office, it was $7 million. We've increased it. In other words, that's what we keep in the general fund. And, we keep $17.1 million. Like I said, in the past, they kept $7 to $8 million, the administrations before me. So
that's a $10 million difference.
That's $10 million more that we have in the bank than normally this parish would have. Our sales collection was 10.48% greater in 22. Now, so far, money we're receiving from FEMA, public assistance, CDBG, and HMGP and others is about $600 million. We think we're going to get $800 million, so we're being conservative, and that's all off Hurricane Ida. That's money that we received and we're receiving.
Let's go into some of the equipment actively working. That's interesting too.
Martin, there's things around. People look at that certain ditches and dug and all, but we want to show the people. We have 2 vacuum trucks with those ones that clean out culverts every day they operate. 19 dump trucks, 5 graders. That's excavators for the road because they reach 16 feet. That's what you see mostly is going to be the graders and the dump trucks. We have 18 excavators you very seldom ever see digging ditches someplace in Terrebonne Parish. And it's all around the bayous, the north, the central, etc. We have 2 marsh buggies always cleaning canals and bayous, 5 dozers, 7 skid steers, 8 tractors that cut the grass in lateral ditches. And that doesn't include the spraying of the ditches, and 3 lily machines, which we constantly, there's more lilies in the parish than anybody's ever seen before, especially with the heat, And, throughout my administration since I've started, and what you see right here, in addition to all this, okay, that equipment does not include equipment on projects such as Elliott Jones, Bayou Cane Pump Station, and other bidded projects. It doesn't include that. So we have a lot more equipment. That is strictly maintenance equipment, what you see up on the screen.
And you have 3 crews working daily on street repairs.
And changing concrete panels and curves and asphalt repair. When I took office, there was only 1 crew, 3-4 days a week. Now, 5 days a week, we have 3 crews. We change thousands and thousands of panels because they're broken up in these, and I remember, we don't do state highways. That's up to the state. That grass cutting is up to the state. We do a little bit of grass cutting in some negotiated areas on the state highway. But other than that, if it says LA whatever, LA 311, LA whatever, LA 56, 58, 57, that's the state's deal. Okay, we have 42 pump stations with telemetry and SCADA, and 5 to go online. That's 47. That's all your major pump stations. When I took office, there was 6. And they actually started putting telemetry back in the 90s under Barry Bonvillain. And all this time, they've only done 6. Well, we've done 42, and really you're going to have 5 within 2 weeks. So you have 47 out of 98 pump stations. All our pump stations are automated. When I took office, there was 68 pump stations. There's 98. We added 30 pump stations in 7 years. We installed 24 generators with transfer switches to electric pump stations and rewired pump stations to present IBC, International Building Code. In other words, we had electric. The old pump stations had had electric pumps with no generator. So in the past, when a hurricane came in, electricity went off. That's it. It didn't pump. And so this, believe it or not, took 2 years because you had to rewire all these old pump stations. The next one is just the next slide. In yellow is the pump stations we've added to what was already existing. If you look at it in yellow, there's 98 pump stations.
I'm glad you put that because I'm always trying to.
And if you look,
things change fast, you know.
And if you look at it, and that doesn't include. We've got 4 under design and two under construction that you're looking at. And then the next slides is the pump stations with telemetry and SCADA, is what you see there. And then the next list is, remember telemetry for the folks at home, they probably know by now what it means, but it's where you could start, stop, operate. You can check your water your water levels on both sides on your suction, your discharge. You could turn off your engines if you see they're overheating. You could monitor them from a Cat 5 building during a hurricane. You don't have to be in the pump room. It's all automated now. We've done that. We spent quite a bit of money on that.
I want to turn for capital outlay because I know this is near and dear to you. You love it when we get projects. You hate it when we lose projects.
Right. Yeah. Well, you could see our delegation did great. You know, we've got money for a pump station. It's in priority 2 for the HNC at Grand Caillou by La Corp, which is to keep Leveron and Columbus Street dry and that area from draining. You know, we put that containment area next to Popeyes over there on Tunnel Boulevard. Valhalla Extension, that's a big one. We awarded the engineering. So that is going to become a reality. Terrebonne Sportsplex, replacement of Brady Road Bridge. We were starting this November, but the $5 million did not make it through the system. So that's the only one in this deal that's going to be delayed. Replacement of the D18 pump station, Fargo Canal. Funderburk Bridge replacement. We started purchasing the land. Bayou Terrebonne, Mida Gates, I'll get into them further down. Company Canal, Mida Gates, Hanson Canal, Trash Screen, Barrel Street Pump Station, Wetland Center, Industrial Pump Station, replacement of the D19 pumps.
So that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the land purchase and the bridge replacement for Funderburk Avenue.
Okay, well, the bridge replacement on Funderburk been slated for replacement, 6-7 years before I even got in office. We've started replacing a lot of the bridges. This is the one we're focusing on a lot of other bridges, but we're purchasing the land. We just bought the building next to Broadmoor drugstores, and we're buying it. We're talking to people, purchasing across, and then we'll go into engineering. And we already talked about telemetry and SCADA, 31 new pump stations in 7 years. And right now we're in the process of purchasing 25 acres on Valhalla from the Sportsplex to Valhalla for $2.7 million. That is the money's there. We've got one final vote with the council, and then that will become a reality so we can keep expanding the Sportsplex.
I laugh sometimes because I hear sometimes you haven't done enough quality of life. That's a big one.
Mark, we don't tout that as much as we should. I mean, we're going into engineering of a covered arena, a 4-H barn building, and we're working with LSU on a cooperative extension for LSU. Of course, we've done soccer fields, bathrooms, baseball fields. And we worked with Rec 2-3 on the baseball fields, and hitting cages. We've done a lot of landings, which we'll show further down. We've cleaned Bayou Terrebonne, but this was the federal money of just trees. This is what this took us a long time to get a permit from the Corps. We just couldn't pull trees out of there, which, that's the way the Corps operates. We have no choice. But that is completed, so it is cleaner. We still have to dredge it. If you look at the next slides, that's some, just to show people, we have machines all over the place cleaning lilies. We work on lilies, we spray them, we pick them up, we're looking at a machine that cuts them up. I mean, we are really working lilies so people can pass down these bayous.
Lilies are hard to control.
They grow.
Yeah, they just, they're on their own.
A lot of people think they're coming from the intercoast or someplace, but they grow. The seeds are underneath the lily itself, is what I'm told.
They'll come in our slip where we live, and they'll grow massively right in the slip. So I agree with that.
Well, look, this is, if you see that's a vacuum truck cleaning out a culvert. What's that? The Broadmoor area. Here's one on Lerat Street. Here's Isla Cuba Road. We have one working. Here's Southbound Mandalay. So like I said, we're all over the place. This has been completed, but this is part of our drainage system, the Valhalla flood protection. And as you can see, Sugarwood, Manchester, Bayou Country Sports, the lakes, Chateau Crescent, it drains all that area into the Chacahula Basin.
All right, let's hold that thought. We're going to take a short break, 2 segments here. We're coming right back with a lot more projects, so don't go away. We're going to show you and bring up the slides in a few short seconds. We'll be right back. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, we're back. It's going public time. I'm with the parish president of Terrebonne, Mr. Gordon Dove. We were showing you a lot of projects. Let's resume at Plantation Gardens, and I'll let the parish president.
Yeah, this is a small pump we put in that solved their problem in Plantation Gardens. I don't think we've ever showed this, but this was done a few years ago. The next one, Savannah Road. This was one done. A lot of people say, well, we need to do more street improvements. Nalo Road in Berg. This was a project pushed heavily by Steve Trosiclair, and this is going to their baseball fields and their park and all back there, all those ladies. So this is a real nice road that was done a few years back. Naturally, the Houma Navigation Canal, $360 million, funded, ready to go to bid any day now. This is 12 years in the making, and we are going to bid with it. And you will hear, if you see fireworks, we out for bid.
Yep, there you go.
Here, water control structure. This is Island Road that was built by the parish money, needed to be built a long time ago. Then the next one is Island Road. It's protected now. But remember, it also protects Morganza. That's an 8-foot jetty on one side and about 4.5 foot on the other side, because you have reverse heads. FEMA will not pay to repair this road anymore, and the island has 75 located by the federal government, the bodies out there that's been buried. So we got to keep that road up. Hollywood Road, we've signed the construction contract. We should be having a groundbreaking on that any day now. $4.2 million. That is a 3-lane. It's going to look just like the one off of Polk Street by 311. So that's coming. Valhalla Extension. We got $3.5 million for the engineering. We're looking at the land rights. So this is going to go from Valhalla and Savannah Road all the way to right past 90 to where they call it Rouse's Boulevard, which is the Fletcher and K&B Machine back there.
Okay.
That's underway. The next one is showing the intersection at 311 and Rouse's Drive. Okay. That's the reality. Shreve Overpass. We've been working with the state. If you know, the state's doing a lot of work on there. We had repaired these lights. We had to repair them again. We replaced a lot of lights on the Shriever overpass, which is part of the parish's maintenance agreement. We just broke ground on this Bayou Cane pump station. This is great for Bayou Cane, Gray, and everything to the south to the intercoastal, you know, that drains into Bayou Terrebonne, or that drains into Bayou Cane. This is under construction. Lowland has a construction. That's $15 million funded by the people of Terrebonne Parish. The next one is just a picture of the station itself. This is the 4,000 acres donated. Next one, 4,000 acres donated by Shell Oil. We want to thank Shell. And it will stay marsh. It will actually a swamp. It will stay pristine. Nothing will die. This is strictly to hold the water for a day or so and then release it.
Reservoir.
A reservoir retention, correct. Next one, the same thing. That's the same picture. 448. That's the 11A on 311. Believe it or not, that's going to work with that other pump I just showed you. That's the 11A system. We'll have that complete once we build that other one in the levees. This one was $5 million. Chacahula Basin's $108,000. We're finishing our second pump station. If you look at this is the next one is Hanson. That's been completed for about 3 years, 2 years. Let me see, 2 or 3 years. That's working. $15 million, $14.5 million paid for by the people of Terrebonne Parish. The next one, if you skip over one more, is Elliott Jones. I'm going fast because we got a lot of projects. We you know, if depending when you watching this show, Thursday we having a ribbon cutting for that. That is actually operational right now. Elliott Jones, it's actually it says $15 million, but it's $16 million between both pumps. Martin Hanson and that one, they'll pump 1 million gallons a minute out of the Chacahula Basin. And that, you know, and that protects numerous, you know, Valhai, the lakes, Shriever, Donna, Gibson, Bob Black, Westgate, all that area from 311 to Bob Black, it protects. This is a huge pumping system, and we still have another one to build on Bob Black that we do have the money for.
Pretty soon we're going to say 11B.
And then the next one is the ICW. Reason I'm showing this, we worked hard. It's a concerted effort. That we're going to build a floodgate. If you look at the next one on the east side of Lafourche in the intercoastal, it's going to be built by Corps with federal money. And then if you look at the next one, you got one on the west by Montes Canal in Terrebonne Parish. These gates will be closed during a hurricane. In Terrebonne and Lafourche, the levees are already connected to the south. We close off Terrebonne and Lafourche with these two. They will start construction in 2025, a year and a half. They all funded up $412 million was funded by Congress. I want to thank our congressional delegation on that. And the next one has been completed, Petite Caillou. But Chauvin is now under forced pump. In other words, they won't have any more water problems. That pumps into Lake Boudreaux, so it introduces fresh water into Lake Boudreaux.
That's some big pipes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful deal right there in Chauvin. The lock system, the old Petite Caillou lock system by Boudreaux Canal, that's completed. You got to control the water if you're going to go to forced pump, and it takes 2 gates. And there's another picture of the pump station. Bayou Terrebonne lock system is completed, $15 million, which paid for by Terrebonne Parish. And now we're adding a pump station. That's under design and construction. We have $5 million from the statewide flood program, and that's being designed as we speak. The next one is just another picture of it. It's a pump station. We're putting Bayou Terrebonne under forced pump from Montague to Berg to the intercoastal. So they won't have any more problems when we finish this system we're building.
Right.
Bubba Duff floodgate's been there. Everyone's familiar with that. That's worked well. This is the lock system has already been started. If you notice, they built up all this property already, and that's actually an old picture. That's covered with grass now and marsh, and This is where the operations center goes. That's all done. So the lock system in the HNC, that's $360 million, actually began. Brady Road Bridge, that's that's been delayed, and it's designed, engineered, and we lost the money in Baton Rouge, so we are pressing forward, looking for another stream of money. So that's going to happen. It's just it won't come as fast as we thought because of what happened in Baton Rouge. Power Canal Pump Station, we're designing and building a new one. That's under design, and it's fixing to go to bid here in another couple of months. We're putting miter gates by the twin span. The next one, I know I'm going a little fast. Miter gates by the twin span, which is 2 gates. That's gonna block off Bayou Terrebonne. Remember, we have a pump station all the way south of there, south of Montague, and then we're gonna put one in Company Canal. And anyone watching in Company Canal, that's not the exact place of it because they are gonna move it around, get public input and what have you. And Steve Trosaclair was instrumental in keeping these projects moving. Me and him worked together on it. I want to thank Steve Trosaclair, who's the councilman for that area. And if you look at the next one, that's the miter gates. They're very simple. They close fast, they open fast, and they'll be built in Company Canal. The H&C Grand Caillou Pump Station, that's just entering design phase. This is going to be a long-term project because it's $100 million. But we are starting the design phase of it. And Lashbrook was replaced. We're building another pump station across from ABS Cafe in Little Bar Black, which a lot of people along there will be happy to hear that. That is presently under design. The next one is where the Corps, first time in the history of the Corps, lowered our 11B system 9 inches, which doesn't sound big, but it's huge because that goes 19 miles to Thibodaux. And in West Side, we did some construction. And South Ellendale, that's a pump in South Ellendale. Then the next one is the Goals Avenue pump. You see that when you're going on Hollywood Road. That's been real successful. St. Louis Canal, the Centennial Plaza, quality of life stuff that we're looking at. That the 2-3 weeks, that should be completed. And it's really gonna be nice. Le Petit Theater had their first theater there. We funded a lot of that. So did the state, so did the Le Petit Theater and many other donors. We did a bunch of landings. Here's the Petit Caillou landing. If you go there, it's beautiful. Go fish. It's got benches. If you can see the next picture, look at the people out there fishing, and everything's handicapped parking. Then we did the Upper Montague one. Looks the same. It's a little bit smaller because of the location, but it's right there before you get to Montague. If you're coming from Berg, it's the next picture. And again, we run out of time. So, and then Texas Gulf Road, and in the Sportsplex, we are building the Sportsplex. We are building those big fields, those big soccer fields with lights. And then if we skip over this is the bathroom, and we go to the end, the last one, go back one, the last one is the new health center.
PCG.
Right there.
There you go.
See on the right is the existing health center on Tunnel across from Griffin's. We're going to construction we're going to bid on that in about 4 weeks.
There you have it. The parish president got them all in on Going Public.